Hey there everybody, it's Missy with Bella Blvd, and I'm excited to be bringing you another scrapbooking process video for the blog. And for this layout, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to use these beautiful acrylic paints that are part of the Illustrated Faith collection. And I wanted to include some die cuts as well. So what I'm going to do is take this really cute white paper with these little tiny black triangles on it, and I'm going to stick it right onto my craft mat. I'm going to take the white acrylic paint and just use a little tiny bit, just 3 little squeezes, just a little bit of paint there, and I'm going to use one of the cards that also come in the kit, and they are perfect for doing just this, for smudging and scraping the paint. And I'm not using any gesso or anything like that. I'm just using just the tiniest bit of paint, and it really goes a long way. I wanted to use the white first because it kind of blends out some of the pattern. I wanted it to look kind of cloudy in some spots and clear in other spots, and so you can kind of see I'm getting that look here. And this is not going to mess up my cutting mat at all, and I'm going to eventually run this through my Cameo and cut some flowers out of it. So I'm going to come in with the turquoise. I'm just going to do the same thing with all of these colors, and I want it to look messy, and I'm just covering up space. I want some of the white to still show through. I want some dark spaces, some light spaces, and this is an easy technique that you can do with your paints, and you know, you really can't mess this up. It's very simple to do, and I'm not thinking about any certain shapes or any certain patterns. I'm just smudging the paint down. And I'm going to be using papers from the Color Chaos collection, from the Just Add Color collection, and they're going to mix and match really well with these beautiful colors. Okay, so I went through the colors there, and my paint is dry, and I ran this through my Cameo, and I'm going to be cutting out these flowers. And I just actually designed these flowers myself. I just used the freehand drawing tool and drew a couple of petals and kind of made a flower, and then welded it together and resized it to make some bigger ones and some smaller ones. And then I also did an offset, and so with each flower I'm going to get an outline as well as the solid flower in the middle, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. My cutting mat is pretty new, so it was very sticky. But this did not in any way affect my blade, or it did not ruin my cutting mat, because I really didn't use that much paint. It was just a small amount, and when you smudge it with that card, it really goes a long way. So there's the outline of the flower, and then I have the actual middle part as well. So I'm going to wind up using both of those. I love how these turned out. They look kind of splotchy and messy, and yet kind of watercolory at the same time. And they have a natural curl to them because I pulled them off the sticky mat. So I'm going to kind of mix and match and scatter these around. And I'm going to use, well, at this point I wasn't sure if I wanted to use a color photo, because the colors in that color photo match perfectly, or if I wanted to scratch the color photo and just go with the black and white. In the end, I used both of them because I just think that they both look really good, and I couldn't decide. So I'm also going to use several of the clear cuts and one of the invisibles for this layout. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do something with these transparencies, but they're really, really neat. They're very thin. As you can see, I punched a couple of shapes out of that text one. It's called Typewriter, and this one is called Artistic, I believe. And I cut some of these flowers with scissors. I just used one of my old Martha Stewart punches to just create some whimsical flowers on the background there, because I wanted to add in some more of the black and white. Now this paper, I've been waiting to use it for a long time because I really, really love it, and I'm going to fussy cut out some of these flowers. And there's a lot you can do with those flowers. You can color them or leave them black and white. I did a little bit of stitching after I adhered all the flowers down through all of the solid flowers, just because they were so curved at the end that it was almost impossible to stick my pictures down. So I did a little bit of stitching there to flatten them out just a little bit. And I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back of my pictures. And I did try to add a little bit of tissue paper behind my pictures, but I just didn't really like the way it looked on this layout for some reason, so I just tore it off, and not going to use that. So I've got a pretty busy background going here, and I just wanted to add a little bit more texture and color right around where the photos are. And so this is some thread that I have in my stash, just regular sewing thread in different colors. And I've got the blue color, the pink color, orange, and black. And I'm just going to go around the two sides of the pictures, the top and the bottom, and just add a little bit of messy, tangled thread peeking out. And I tried to use the color in each area where the color was different with the paint. So I didn't really have a lot of black over on the left, so I used the black thread there. I used the blue on the right because I didn't have a lot of blue there already. I like to scatter color around and make sure that it's evenly distributed around the page, if that makes sense. My background is just some white cardstock. I knew that I was going to be using a lot of color with the paints, and so I didn't want to have a competing color in the background. Now, I love these Caio Chipboard pieces, and I've been wanting to use one of the really big words, and so this is from the Hello There sheet, and I'm going to use the word adorable. And I was kind of torn. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. I didn't want to leave it white, but I didn't want to color it solid black either. So before I adhere that down and start to work on it, I knew that I wanted some black splatters. So I just take some black ink, cover up my pictures, and just do some messy splattering around the page. And I definitely did that before I did machine stitching, because I always have bad luck and smudge the paint or smudge the ink. So I didn't want to have any chances of that happening. So all of my machine stitching is done. Okay, so now I want to jazz up this chipboard sheet here, and I'm going to take just a tiny smudge of all the paint colors again, and I'm going to water it down. This is another thing that you could do with the paint, is if you want to lighten it up and make it a little thinner and kind of treat it as a watercolor, you can water it down and do it that way. And I don't want to color the entire piece in. I just want to do around the edges here and there, and I'm trying to, like I did with the thread, I'm trying to go around and add color where there isn't already that color. Like at the top of the B, I added some blue because there was no blue there at that time. And I'm just kind of doing this very quickly. There's no rhyme or reason except for the colors, but I'm just kind of messily coloring in spots of it, and I left some of it white. So I'm thinking, okay, now it kind of blends in too much with all the color behind it. So what can I do to make it stand out? So I grabbed one of my black Sharpie pens and I just went around and traced around all the letters. And I like how that looks, but it still doesn't stand out enough. And so I'm going to just do some doodling. I'm going to do some scribbles and some doodling on top of all the letters. And I'm going to cover up some of that color, but you can still see it through it. And definitely in the close-ups, you'll be able to see it. And that's going to make the adorable stand out a little bit more. So the rest of my title, I'm going to use the tiny text, and it's just going to be adorable little face, because when I look at these pictures, that is what I think of when my daughter makes this cute little scrunchy smile, and then she closes her eyes, and it's just cute. So these are the black enamel dots, and I love these great big ones. They are perfect for the centers of these these flowers. And so all the flowers that are the center of them is visible, I'm going to use one of these enamel dots. And I love the addition of the black with all these bright colors. So now I'm going to come in with some stickers, and these are all black and white from this sticker sheet here, and that's Color Chaos. And they say favorite, fantastic, so much fun, and I love the one that says love these photographs, because I really do. And I wanted to give that a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to raise it up by using some foam behind it. I do want to add a little bit of thread behind it. I just think it adds a little more interest, and it makes it look kind of messy and kind of whimsical, I guess you could say. I do trim off the edges on the right and the bottom, and I added some of this black and white striped paper. And I actually didn't realize the paper was too small because I'd already used parts of it for another page, so I just have to kind of cut and paste there, but I fix it and you can't really even tell. So the last thing I'm going to do is add some lines with my T-square ruler and my pencil, and then add some journaling. And I do off camera, after this is finished, I do some black stitching along the right side and the bottom, and I kind of ruffle up the edges there. And there's the final layout. I really like how it turned out. Those paints are amazing. So if you can get your hands on those Illustrated Faith acrylic paints, definitely do it. The quality is fabulous. The colors, as you can see, are gorgeous. And there is really a lot of possibility of things that you could do with them. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these products or any of the techniques that I did today. I would be more than happy to answer. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.